Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, as ordinary people, the life we experience mostly given by our ancestors and maintained by our culture, traditions, and believing system, so on like that. But when it comes to your own experience, there is something beyond this all traditions or the culture or the ideas. There is something that you can see. So you have to little by little uncover that vision, because if you too into this outside information, sometimes you're going to miss that what you see inside. So the dharma is a path, dharma is a way take you to experience that what you see inside, that what you see inside is become the real truth. That doesn't mean these outside things or the culture or the tradition or the information, no need. No, we need that. We have to, because our very conventional life depend on that. We cannot deny, we cannot reject, we cannot go against, we cannot resist. But that doesn't mean you should not see the truth. So then it is your personal responsibility. If you look for the salvation or the liberation or the freedom, remember, somehow you have to access to that what you can see through your inside. That is totally different, because this outside, what we see is kind of like a mirage. In the way, in the summertime, in a hot day, so if you go to kind of like a desert area, that you see far away, it's like water. So there are a lot of animals like deers. There are a lot of animals keep chasing to drink water. They think because they can see. So our conventional, these ideas, concept, believing also kind of like that. You can see, you can hear, smell, taste, feel, and you can grab it as ideas. We share things as ideas. But end of the day, if you look very carefully, when you become more sharp and clear, you able to recognize this everything that what we experience is kind of like a reflection, not the reality. Reflection from what? Reflection of our own mind. So recognizing that is the reality. So conventional life means, samsara means that our mind reflect through this everything around us. And sometimes it is become so stronger even that it block us to see that what is really outside. That much it's strong. So then through the samatha, you develop a very strong, unshakable, undisturbed, untouchable mind. From what? From the reflection or the from our own mind. So that our own mind disturb us. Even you go to sleep, and sometimes you see, you lock the door and no one around you, and you go to sleep, you shut down bodily, verbally actions, and then what happened? You experience some bad dreams. See how the mind that much disturbed. So the samatha means you develop the method deeper inside you, not with the outside, deeper inside you, not to get disturbed and not to become reactive nature inside you. So that will help you to have a very clear vision. So that is very necessary as a person, even in day-to-day life, not just by what we see through eye. There's something deeper we can see through our consciousness. So once you able to settle down with that, your all five aggregates and start to become little by little clear. Form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. Why? Because now your mind not bounce back, not reflect itself. So the mind calm down. And that is where you slowly can access to it. And that is where you understanding when you experience something, how you experience it. And what is the mechanism of inside you. So that knowledge very necessary when you go in this spiritual path, especially when you practice the vipassana. And at the same time, this knowledge take giving you some kind of extra benefit in day-to-day life, how to deal with this conventional life rather than rejecting it. So when it comes to conventional life, there are certain things that we everyday experience. That is the building block of this conventional life. One is old age. Every day getting old. Every year you have birthday party. You know, everybody having it. So every day we getting old. And getting old, another thing is the sickness. So just averagely we look healthy. But if you bring some different specialists, doctors, and if they examine us, they will tell something. So somehow it is somewhere we related to some kind of sickness. Even sometimes we don't have any physical sickness, sometimes mentally we get sick. So like that, the sickness. Another thing is the decay or the death. Even though it is, we see end of the journey that we can see, but it is happening every day within these two things. So this is the method that you have to catch. Old age inside the death, old age inside the sickness. Sickness inside the old age, sickness inside the death, and the death inside the sickness, and death inside the old age. So these three things interconnected. You cannot separate one thing. But when in day-to-day life, that when you say that say somebody sick, you don't see in that person, in that sickness, there is a death and there is a old age. And sometimes when you see somebody old, you don't see inside that person sickness. You don't see inside that person death. So we experience, see, that is the difference when it comes to vipassana. Because sickness cannot exist itself, just becoming sick without help, without getting help from other two things. So it like this then. If you don't die, if you don't get old, you're not going to get sick. There is no way. Because to get sick, you need other two help. And so that is the very nature of the condition of this mind. So I just gave you an example to see in, because it is very common in, we can see in day-to-day life this, we live with this. But we see these things separately. And when we see things this separately, and we don't recognize the real nature. We see something, but we don't understand how it is happening. So you every day die, that's why you get sick and you get old. You every day get old, that's why you get sick and you die. So like that, every day there is a sickness. That's why you get old and you get die. So these three things catch as one is not easy. But there is a possibility. If you develop your mind to certain level, and when somebody having a birthday party, and he's, the he or she look very nice, beautiful, and everybody happy, but in that person, in that moment, in that birthday, so you see the old age, and at the same time you see the sickness and the death. That is a way that you see through this conventional, you see the reality. So that is very necessary. And when it comes to sickness, that mostly we struggle and we try to stay away from it. We take medicine and we do a lot of things. We are afraid to get sick. We don't like to get sick. We hate to get sick. But everywhere, day by day, you will see. And when it comes to the machines and technology and science, most of things they develop for the regarding the health. And when it comes to buildings, and one of the major part of the construction, hospitals, everywhere you see. So that's mean this sickness is a greater challenge. It becomes stronger. Whatever the field, we become stronger. The sickness also becoming so stronger. Look how the world, all over the world, struggle to overtake this situation. It's not going to have it. It cannot happen. Why? Because it is a part of the life. So then, in case when you get into sickness, because you're going to get sick, what you going to do? What will happen to you? If somebody gets sick at home, what going to be your behavior? Maybe your husband, your wife, children, friends and family members, whoever, your loved ones. If somebody gets sick, what will happen? What you know, and how to talk and how to deal with that person. Because one time Buddha mentioned, even though that our physically, our body gets sick, if you able to keep your mind healthy, and that is the most important thing, and you can slowly go through the situation. You can overcome the difficulty. You can overcome the pain if you're able to keep the mind healthy. But mostly when we get sick, we forget the mind and we just focus to the body. That is one of the major mistake we does everywhere. Mostly we forget the condition of the mind and we just focus to the body. And that happened even to this pandemic situation also all over the world, that this coronavirus. And now everybody mentally they become afraid, and mentally they think it is a kind of like a disease that the society going to reject us. And the people kind of like hiding when they have the virus. Now they're hiding. See the the mind work. And once the mind start to get sick more than the body, you cannot recover. And maybe we kind of like we not going to get the coronavirus, but mentally we getting kind of like a different kind of disease now. The fear, rejection, you know, and the look how the people, you know, the behave when in a, even you go to market or public place, how the people behave. Because now mentally we take it in a different way. So then what the Buddha said, when you are in a, you know, kind of situation, you get sick and somebody gets sick, what you going to do? So one day Buddha was traveling to a temple, and in that temple there was a sick monk. And that monk was so in so much pain. So Buddha heard that, and Buddha knew that, and then Buddha went to that monk and cleaned that monk. And then with the other monk, with the help of the other monks, and make that place very clean, and put him in a very comfortable bed. And after that, with in around that with that monks, the Buddha had a conversation. And why this physically we get so much pain and the fear, anxiety, depression? So then the Buddha mentioned, in that moment there was a sutta called Gilana Sutta. Gilana means sick. So when you are get sick, or if somebody gets sick, how you can deal with the situation, what you should think. So one is you have to, it's called asubha sanya. So you have to contemplate the condition of the body. See, you have to contemplate the condition of the body. So there are 32 parts, the body parts in the Dharma. In the Satipatthana we teach 32 body parts. So this body if you separate part by part, part by part, part by part, you don't recognize this as a body. Then you understand this everything come together. This body happen. And this all the separate body part depending from heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. And once you understand this, once you contemplate it, when you are get sick, you cannot do it if you don't train this little bit. That's why I'm telling this. So whenever you have time, little bit practice yourself. So it's kind of like you have a good immunity for the situation. And when you are get sick, then rather than that worry or the unhappy, just start to contemplate the nature of the body, asubha sanya, the condition of the body, the behavior of the body, mechanism of the body. That will help you to have the good mental condition. And the second one, ahare patikula sanya. Ahare patikula sanya means observe the when you intake food, what happening to it, this digestive system. So just know yourself, because this is you, it is not something else. This is what you live with, so you should know about it. But mostly we don't even think about it. So contemplate when it comes to vipassana, and knowingly these things uplift to your awareness, and at the same time it keep the undisturbed mind. So when you get sick and contemplate how this food digest and wash away from your body, and remind it yourself. So the first one, how this body, the parts by parts, and then when this everything come together, we mention as body. So in Pali it's called Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, Chacho, Mansang, Naharu. So like that it's go 32 parts. Your hair, teeth, skin, muscles, blood, bones. So like that. So somehow then the food. And the fourth one, the third one, keep your mind not bound to any kind of existence, or believing or thinking about any kind of next life, because that going to make you worry. And we like to go, we have a desire, people have desire, many ways to become. So when you get sick, and sometimes what happening deeply, it that whatever the desire do you have, with the fear it start to arise. So when you have something, it brings the fear. It not it the fear not come separately. When you have it, you have the fear. It like this. So you have desire to go to heaven, and now you thinking, oh, after you die you go to heaven. So you are for sure it's going to happen to you, you believe. And then you get sick, and you get sick, you becoming little by little worse with the sickness. And then what will happen to your mind? Now where are you going to think? What you going to think? Then you start to think about that, but you think that with the fear. Because of the fear, you think about it. And the fear arises because you think about the heaven. And you think about the heaven because of the fear, because of the death. You're going to die now because of this sickness. And at the same time, the fear arises because of the, the heaven that you have, and you start to think about the heaven because of the fear that you have. So that's why you have to be very clear, not to think about anything, just keep your attention to inhalation, exhalation, and stay. And that is the best place to keep the, just focus to the inhalation, exhalation. If anybody, wherever you go, and if somebody, and you see like, with the sickness or the difficulties, and remember to guide them and tell the, and, if you are a good friend, and slowly start to teach them about the body. It is not you, because when you recognize these 32 parts of your body, you get out of the self-centered mind and you recognize the mechanism of the body, and that release you from the fear. And the other thing is that when you recognize how this food and everything and flush away and the digestive system, you recognize there is no self, and that will help you not to think about something beyond this life. And the the fourth one, not to think about the formations, that when it comes to formations of the sanskara, chitta sanskara, kaya sanskara, vachi sanskara, that's mean the actions that you develop with the body, and itself you have the bodily habit to perform. So when you get sick, it start to kind of like have a kind of like a shadow in your mind, that whatever you used to do. So every day you used to walk, you know, early morning you used to walk, just as example. A lot of people don't do that, but as example, you used to exercise, you know. So now you get sick and you have to lie down and sit, rest. And when the 6 o'clock comes, 7 o'clock come, now it come to your mind, oh, I used to do this, now I cannot do. That is a sanskar formation. See, you cannot do it, you know that, but still that what you used to do start to come and disturb you, not anything else. Those are the most difficult parts. And the vachi sanskar, and so the we used to talk to people. Even we used to talk to ourselves also. And when it cannot do, it become very difficult for you. All over the look, this is why this cell phone is so famous now. Because people like to talk, talk, talk. And mostly every day at the same time. Every day at the same time. You bound to that. See? And so now in case you go to dentist and take out the teeth and now you cannot talk, so you normally you used to call 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, or maybe at night you used to give a good night call. So now you cannot talk. See, now you're sick, now you know what happened, but still you going to be unhappy. From where that unhappiness come? It is not somebody doing it. That unhappiness come because you used to do something. Now it come to your mind and you try to do it. See how you bound to your own actions. So you get sick sometimes. Your physical current not allow you to stay away from it. It push you. That pushing is itself suffering. That pushing you forward your own current is itself sansara. So then you have to come to a point. If you cannot talk, just forget about it. Even don't think, don't try. If you cannot do, don't try to try even, because you know you cannot do. Just stay away from that. When I mean when you get sick. So you get sick and you cannot do this. So forget about it. Why you keep thinking of whatever you used to do while you on the bed? That make you more disturbed. So then, to not to repeat your own mind, your own actions, your own words, you have to be so strong. That's why you need the meditation, because you see it, you know that you can do it yourself. Otherwise you get disturbed from your own inside. So the formations. And the fifth one, and always remember, reflect on death, remind, think about the death. People, it kind of like sometimes people think it is so negative, why we have to think about the death. That's why the world became so much like this chaos. If the people think about the death, it, just imagine each and every person, every day, morning, night, reflect on their own death, the world become kind of like a heaven. The world become more beautiful place. Look how the people act, like they're going to be forever, they're going to live forever, like that. See how many things happen because of people forget they're going to die. So then always remember yourself. Have a, the very good, practice yourself, master the technique, and always remember every day you're going to die. It calls sabbam pahaya gamaninya in Pali. What does that mean? This everything. We have to let go this everything. There is no any single thing that you can take. We have to let go everything, and we have to go one day. So those are the five things Buddha mentioned when somebody gets sick, to reflect. Azubha sanya, so the the body and how the body mechanism and the body parts, and reflect one by one. And ahare patikula sanya, digestive system, and when you eat, what happening to the food, and not to clinging to any existence or dreaming about any existence, and not to allow that the bodily, verbally, or mentally formations or the sanskara to push you or unrest you while you in sick situation. Another one is reflecting on the death, your own death. So those are the five things. That five things to do yourself before you get sick. You have to master this. Why? Because when you are get sick, your mind so tired sometimes. Physically, you become so weak. In that moment, you cannot do it. So then remember yourself. We all going to go through this. So it is better yourself. You get ready learning these five qualities. Why? Maybe when you get sick, who knows, other people will be around you or not. Maybe it is just only you yourself. You know. So one of my friend traveled to Sri Lanka. Now he's there, you know, and called me and told, teach me some meditation. I asked, what happened to you? What happened? No, I came to Sri Lanka. Now he's quarantined there. He's in a hotel room. He cannot go anywhere. 14 days he has to be there. And now he thinking, oh, what I can do, you know. See, how we know we come to a point we get sick and no one around us. That's why train yourself, be strong yourself. These are kind of like you know tools that you have you yourself to work. So once you have these things, see, this is coming from the Buddha, it work. So once you learn this thing and keep this with you, and whenever situation come, even you can share it with others, it will help for this life, for next life also. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.